we couldn't be happier with these results that we have just released. To have been releasing results greater than 2000 ppm uranium after only 3 weeks of being listed is just over the moon for us. So look, let me just share the announcement with you. We'll run through that. I'll try and give you some context for where these results come from, what they mean for us, and what we're doing moving forward. Okay, so look, as I was saying, to get a result of greater than 2000 ppm uranium in an initial field reconnaissance program is just absolutely fantastic. I will give you some context as we go through, but that would honestly be 5 or 6 times higher than I would have ever imagined we were going to get in this first program. So we really are into an area where we think has got absolutely fantastic and great, wonderful potential moving forward. To give you an idea of why we went into this area, there were some historical scintillometer results. Now, a scintillometer is effectively just measuring the radiation that you see at surface. It can't be correlated into resource or release these numbers to the market. That's why we did go back into that area and get rock chips for chemical analysis. But those results were 5,800 counts per second into these areas. The area itself covers about 1 kilometre by 2.5, and we are directly along strike from Bannerman with their Etango resource, 416 million tonnes at 225 ppm. Now, I'll just reiterate that 225 ppm. So that's the resource they have. So if I had got results sitting 300-400 ppm uranium over the moon, as I say, getting up to these greater than 1,000, up to 2,000 ppm is just amazing. We will come back through a few of these things, but I wanted to just show you the map for some context. Now, putting my geology hat on, you'll notice that where the mouse is, and I do hope you can see it, but where the rock chip sampling area is on the map here is a brown geological unit that's called the Cairn Formation. Now, this same unit comes all the way down here towards the southwest and is what is hosting the Etango resource for Bannerman. Now, the mineralisation itself sits within rocks that are called elaskites. Now, they do host the uranium mineralisation. They're technically leucogranites, but they intrude through this Cairn Formation rocks. You do need both of these ingredients, if you like, to get uranium in this area. Now, we do sit only 5 kilometres away from the Etango resource, as I say, along the same unit, and now we know that we have some fantastic uranium hits in that area. Coming down a little bit further, you'll notice that they're quite clustered. This is a very small area that we were looking at to start off with. The area itself is only, realistically 250 by 250 metres when we're looking at a greater area of the Cairn Formation in our tenement area of 1.5 to 2.5 kilometres by about 1. So we do have a lot more work to get through in this area. If we looked all the way back at the, I suppose, our field commencement program, there was a picture of myself standing on some rocks. When we sit in this, when we're standing in this area, it really is day and night. The elaskites stand out as a white rock. The Cairn Formation comes across as a grey. You can map these things out. So what we are planning to do with our very experienced geologist Bertie or Herbert Rosner, 40 years experience in Namibia and looking for uranium. We're very lucky to get a hold of Bertie. There was a lot of competition for him. He has worked at Husab as their manager of mineral resource. He's worked for Orano at their Trikopi resource. He also worked as the chief geologist for the Namibian Geological Survey. So he is a field guy. He loves being out there. And he's now going to take us forward into the next program. Obviously, we are right back in the field already, I should say. We're going to be looking at getting some further rock chip sampling from these anomalous zones. That will also be coupled with detailed mapping of this area. One thing we do need to work out through this is the orientation of these elaskites. We believe that we'll have a similar setting to, as say, Bannerman with Etango. And if I just put my hands up here, we're looking at stacks. So we're looking at stacks like this coming up through the Cairn Formation. We'll be mapping those units out, measuring with scintillometer to work out where we have a higher concentration of uranium. We're looking to do some trench sampling across these to better understand the mineralisation mechanisms. all of this is designed to lead us to drill targets, which we would be hoping to get into this very exciting area with the drill during our Q1 next year. As I say, for us, a lot of it comes down to, and I have said this right before, the right place, the right people, and just the right time. We think we've got the best market for it at the moment. We see things really starting to kick in the uranium market, and we have just done so much better than we ever thought we would in this initial program, and really want to run with this and get drill targets as quick as we can so we can inform the market properly later on. So look, I'm not too sure if I have run through that too quickly, but if I can again just come back and give you some context. 5 kilometers away from Etango, we were sitting with 460 million tons at 225 ppm. We think we have got the same rocks, the same units. Obviously, our mineralisation has come through much better than we think. So, a very exciting day for us here today, Andrew. So I'll pass it back to you in case we have some questions there.
Beautiful. Thanks, Warrick. As you mentioned, we will move into a Q&A session. If anyone does have any questions that they'd like to ask Warrick, please just use the Q&A box just at the bottom of the Zoom screen. Warrick, you mentioned Birdie. Are you able to just provide a little bit of information about, further information about his background and why he's so valuable?
German mother, Afrikaans dad, but he's spent all his time in there. His entire career has been based in Namibia. If he hasn't walked over, sampled, or looked at a uranium deposit in Namibia, it probably wasn't worth doing. He spent 10 years as the chief geologist with the Namibian Geological Survey before being poached by Orano. Was the chief geologist on their Paleo Channel uranium mineralisation. Again, before moving across to Husab, which is, I'm not sure if everyone knows, but is the world's largest uranium-only mine, producing just up the road from us, actually. From our site, we can actually see Husab across the Khan River. And he took their geology department all the way through the development of that project before retiring. But to be honest, Bertie doesn't do retirement very well. He loves being out in the field and is really keen to take this project forward for us.
Excellent. He sounds like a great addition to the team. So the extended program that you've mentioned, is that already underway? You've said that it should be completed by mid-December. When do you envisage we may receive first results from that program?
Yeah, look, we are getting good turnaround on the results. So it really is a matter of how quickly we can get good geological information, good geological sampling of this project through to the lab. The lab itself is can turn around samples within about 10 business days. So look, hopefully we'll have some samples before, during December. Can't give a definitive at this stage, if not during December, then it'll be very early January for those results.
Excellent. Just onto the current results. How big was the area that the current results were representative of, and what further results are still pending over what area?
Right. So this was absolutely just a reconnaissance program following up on the historical scintillometer results. So the area itself that was covered was about 250 by 250 meters. Again, for context, that's sitting within an embayment of the Khan Formation. These host rocks. That is about 1 by 2.5 kilometers. So that's the kind of area that we have to cover with this program of mapping, scintillometer, surveying, opening up the trenches in prospective areas. So it's a large area to go. The reconnaissance has absolutely, of course, proved that we're in the right area. So we're really, I suppose, looking forward to what comes from this next part of the program.
Just in the announcement, there was a specimen picture. Could you just explain
Yes.
what we're actually seeing there?
Absolutely. So the mineral itself is called uranophane. So it's a secondary uranium mineralization. And in that setting with those rocks, it suggests that the uranium mineralization was mobilized or remobilized, whether it be by some fault movement or the intrusion of a dolerite dike nearby. Either which way, in Bertie's eyes, that proves to us that we are seeing uranium mineralization, and importantly, the primary mineralization wouldn't be too far away from that. whether it be horizontally or vertically in that sequence.
Thanks, Warrick. Are there any indications that the mineralised zone within the EPL 6933 could extend to a similar length or width as Etango's project resource area, which is 7 kilometres over 3 kilometres?
Yeah, look, I suppose at this point, the scale that we see there isn't up to that same sort of level. However, one area that I haven't mentioned is right down the southeast of our EPL 6933 or Etango North-East. There's another set of Cairn Formation rocks with the lascites coming through, which will be subject to a further exploration program in the new year. Obviously, we're concentrating on this sort of centre-west area at the moment, but we do know there's the potential down that southeast corner as well.
Excellent. Well, Warrick, they're all the questions that have actually come through this morning. Oh, hang on. A late question. What further exploration steps are required to establish drill targets? And when could the company be drilling in 2025?
Oh, look, absolutely. The program we've got in front of us at the moment will provide us with drill targets. Yeah, there'll be a level of detail there that's sufficient to provide us with drill targets. The reality of it is now with Christmas coming up and like everywhere in Namibia does take a bit of a break, we'll look at those results that we've gathered up until mid-December, assess those, and hopefully come out with some drill targets in late January, early February, with the idea of drilling within Q1 next year.
Excellent. Thank you. No more questions have come through at this time. So thank you for the update this morning, just after the announcement today. If anyone does have any further questions, then please contact Warrick via the contact details, which can be found on the website. Warrick, I'll hand over to you just for final comment.
Look, thank you, Andrew, and thank you everyone for attending as well. To have an announcement like this so early into the exploration stage of our company is very, very exciting. This is just one project of 3 that we have. We'll be looking at other areas early next year as well. But what a fantastic start, and we're very excited to move forward. And we hope to bring you along for the journey. Thank you very much to you all.